What are your top questions about the Halo collar? What do you need to know before buying? And how can you benefit from this GPS enabled collar? Well, today we're going to find out this and so much more as we talk to Justin Butz. He's from the Halo team. This is going to be fun. So we got Justin with us today. Justin is one of the great people who works at Halo Collar. If ever you have a question or you need help with anything related to this collar, you've got somebody like Justin available every day of the week to help you. And Justin, you are a cool dude, and I'm really glad that you're here on the call today to talk more about this GPS-enabled collar. So I know that a lot of the people probably watching maybe don't really have the collar yet, and they're wondering, is this a good investment? Should I buy a Halo collar? And do I need a GPS collar for my dog? What would you say to them?
For sure. Happy to be here, Matthew. Thank you. So yeah, the Halo collar is really a great product to have if you want to contain your dog, know where your dog is by checking out an app in your phone, and also build a better relationship with your dog. One of the most important things about Halo, in my eyes, is the training program because it does bring you closer to your dog, and it also helps them understand the feedback that the collar provides, and also it helps them understand the boundaries they should respect as well.
You know, when I got the collar, it was kind of a funny story. Halo sent me the collar to review, and I had it. And the very next weekend, I mean, like a day later, I had a dog coming over that was going to dog sit. And this dog is like a shepherding dog, a very high energy dog. I don't know the dog that well. It's a friend, that had to go to the hospital really quick. So I said, sure, of course I can watch the dog. But I was in a little bit of a panic because I had to set up this collar, just like overnight. Like I needed it really, really quickly. So I got on the Halo app, and there's something called the dog park, right, Justin?
Absolutely.
And instantly you get connected with somebody who can actually help walk you through the setup. And it was an easy setup, but I have some kind of unique things going on. In my house, I've got a big overhang in the backyard, so you can't really see the GPS, signal. So I was wondering, is this even going to work? How, I need to train the dog before I even use it, all this kind of stuff. But you kind of put me at ease, and I am forever grateful for that. So thank you.
No problem at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us about, because you are on these calls like every single day, right? You're talking to new customers, you're talking to existing customers. What are like the most common questions that you get about the collar?
Sure thing. We get all kinds, and the dog park is a great place to go. You can join it right from your app, and having that live face-to-face video support is ahead of its time. I think everyone should be on that at this point because it's so great for finding a solution. Some of the common questions we do get about the collar are sort of like the things that you'd mentioned there about GPS. How does it work? How do I know if my dog is where it says he is in the app? So a lot of people will ask about that, the sort of the technical side of it. They'll also ask, what happens with the training program? How do I train my dog to do this? What are
Yeah.
these accessories that you have? There's tons of them for sure.
Now, I'm pretty geeky, but probably not as geeky as you. So you know the product. Do you have to know all this technology in order to use the collar itself?
Absolutely not. It's super easy to set up, and it will take you through an entire onboarding process with videos that explain everything that you're about to see when you get set up.
Yeah.
And yeah, once you get set up, it's a smooth sailing from that point.
So
Mhm.
what's the setup even like? What do you need to do to get set up?
That's a great question. So you'll need to have a membership plan with Halo. We do have a membership plan with our collar. Once you do that and you have the collar in your hands, you set up your account, and you have to link the collar to your app. So this is really easy to do. During the onboarding process, you'll plug up the collar to the charger. Once you slap the charger on there, you press the power button and the app automatically detects it through Bluetooth.
Right.
Yep. And once you get set up there, it'll ask you, hey, let's jump into the training. Eventually, you'll get to the point where you're done with that and you'll set up your virtual fence in the app.
So I know, in the app and in the training, they talk about, GPS connection, which is satellite, right?
Hmm.
Then they talk about Wi-Fi, which is in your house. So maybe you want the collar to be used in your house. I actually, there's an application for that. I think because there's the beacon,
Hmm.
right? Which
Hmm.
is this little guy. And if your dog's getting into the garbage can or something like that, you want to have the beacon. And then
Yeah.
I think there's also cellular. So there's like a lot of different technology, and it's all included in this one collar, right?
Hmm. Absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
it's sort of broken into two pieces. So you have the connectivity side of things, and then you have GPS side of things. So connectivity will relate to everything you see inside of the app. The collar will automatically detect LTE cell towers nearby. It'll start giving you app updates through that, and once it leaves the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth range of your home. GPS works independently to provide feedback at the fence line. So if you create a fence inside the app, it stores it, saves it in the collar, and the collar is going to know where the fence is. It doesn't move, it doesn't go anywhere. And you can save up to 20 of these in the app as well. So it'll keep all that in its memory and give feedback whenever the caller approaches it.
Okay. So
Hmm.
bottom line, you learn as much as you want about the technology, or just enjoy as much of the technology as you want, because it's always there and there's lots of redundancy sort of built in.
Yeah.
Um, you must talk to people every single day and hear from them what they're using the collar for. Any kind of stories stand out in your mind?
Yeah, one of the biggest ones that stands out in my mind are people who use the collar for such a long time to the point where their dog is so trained on their boundaries in their yard. I've had a customer that said, "I forgot to put my collar on my dog and I let him outside. My
Oh,
dog my dog ran up to the line and stopped like they were still wearing the collar." Um, that's one of my greatest success stories is hearing when people's dogs are just stopping or coming back home. Um,
yeah.
for sure.
And that actually gets me to the next question I want to ask you, and it's a great segue to that, because I think what you told me when I got the collar, and it makes so much sense. You don't just buy this collar out of the box, put it on your dog, and then draw the fence, and then just forget about it. This is a relationship with your dog,
Hmm.
right? So the dog, and every dog's different. Some dogs, like my dog, picked it up in a second, right? Would have picked it up a second. Fortunately, he wasn't here to use the collar, but he was quick on training. But other dogs take a little bit longer. You
Yeah.
want to use the training in a sense as a way to bond with your dog, to teach them what the boundaries are. I mean, dogs are members of a pack. They like to, essentially, I think most of them follow rules, right? They like to be, know what the boundaries are.
Hmm.
So that's, I think, really, really important that you don't think of this as just another tech gadget that you buy and maybe use or don't use, but it's a relationship with your dog that you could build over the tech. And
Hmm.
all in all, you're making your dog stay a lot safer, and understand what the kind of the rules are.
Absolutely, Matthew. It just like you said, it's one of those things where you need to take out the box, get familiar with it yourself, take a little bit of time, look through the app, navigate all of the features that we provide, and then also whenever you get to the point of training, you take your time through that and definitely show your dog what the sounds mean. Not
Right.
necessarily are they hearing it. We want to know if they understand it. That's really the most important thing. And your dog looks up to you and will end up following your commands if you take your time with the training.
And the training, what I didn't really appreciate when I first got the Halo app, and the dog park and all the training it goes beyond just using the collar, right? I mean, it's just
Mhm.
really about training in general, and it's backed, of course, by Cesar Millan,
Mhm.
who is the dog whisperer. We all probably have seen him on TV. So it's got a lot of this tech in there, but it's also got, like, I would say, a lot of human heart in the app too, if we
Yeah.
could say that. And it really, they really think about not just the tech aspect, but just really the behavioral aspect. And I really, really appreciated that. And
Mhm.
not to mention, like we talked about, at the start of this session, that you can actually talk to a human being if you've got a problem, and you can look at that human being right face to face, and
Yeah.
they'll explain things to you. One thing that you did, and I didn't know that you could even do this, is you were able to log on. I gave you permission right on my app and help me create the fence and the boundary. So that
Mhm.
was pretty amazing, because I was under a pressure to get this done really, really quickly, and I really appreciated that.
Oh yeah, there's no problem at all. Great. Yeah, we do have a lot of things that we can do over the dog park, video calls. Um, Even if it's just you sharing your screen with us, showing us what you see too, or if we can even share our app with customers if we need to and show them things. It's great. And yes, there's a lot of bond building with the training. It's one thing about Halo that I love so much is their approach to positive reinforcements. The feedback, the collar, it does give static feedback. And whenever you think of static, you might think, oh, that's scary. But you could put it on the max setting on your hand, and you could see that it's a lot different than touching, let's say, an electrical fence for sure.
Yeah.
Now, it definitely serves a great method to contain your dog. It's enough to correct their behavior, but in my opinion, it's not as extreme as using the other methods out there. There's also sound and vibration that the collar gives as well too. So the training takes you all through that.
Right.
Mhm.
And I mean, try it out for yourself. Don't be afraid, because if
Yeah.
the static, just hold it in your hand, and it's, what is it, like 2 to, is it 40, or yeah, it's a sliding scale. So you could
Right.
set however much you need. And, I didn't honestly feel it at 2
Yeah.
at all. I was like, oh, wait, I don't think it's working. Oh, well, yeah, there. It's like, taking socks out of the dryer or something like that. It's just a little thing like that.
Mhm.
It's not extreme by
Mhm.
any means. And, if you've got a dog and a house that's right near a busy road, at some point you really need to capture the attention of your dog to bring him back,
Mhm.
but maybe you don't have that situation. Maybe all you really want is the tracking, or the whistle function, which I think is really amazing.
Yeah.
Then don't use a static. You really don't have to. You see
Absolutely right.
you know,
Yeah.
with the collar itself. So, considering purchasing the collar, what's the best advice you would give somebody as we wrap this up?
Yeah, that's a great question. Most importantly, I think learning about Halo Collar, learning about the app, and taking your time with that. Really, really being patient with the training process is the most important thing.
Well, thank you to Justin Butz. He is a swell guy, as you can tell, with Halo Collar. He gave us lots of great information today. So, I mean, my own endorsement of this collar is it is top notch. You don't have to use all the features. At the very least, you're going to get GPS with your dog. If your dog is a bit of an escape artist or something like that, you'll know where they are. And then just keep working towards using all the features, right? With the training that they provide, the whistle function, the static, if you need to use that. It's all great stuff. And it's got a great reviews all across the board. So again, Justin, thanks for being with us today. It's been our pleasure.
It's been a pleasure for me as well, Matthew. Thank you.